The following announcement is paid for by the Wrestling with Nerds.
From Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.
Hey there, the name's Nukem, Duke Nukem, and you're watching the Nerds Doing Nerd Things podcast. For some unknown reason, enjoy.
This honky tonk man, greatest intercontinental champion of all time, and you're watching Wrestling with Nerds podcast. Yes, that's my favorite. Shake, rattle, and roll.
What's going on, nerds? Welcome to this week's episode of the Wrestling with Nerds podcast. We're talking about the week of May 5th, 2025. Oh boy, we are building towards Backlash, and we had a heck of a lot of breaking news over the weekend. But let's bring in the other half of J&J Security. What's up, T?
What's up, brother?
I see that the lawnmower accident is kind of fixing itself. I was talking about the top of your head.
That was an accident, dog. We needed to get that stuff shorter. It was all down in yeet places. Can't enjoy the great yeetness with stuff hanging down.
And then the wrestling guru. Hi, Ryan.
I like how you said "and then."
Yeetus Canitas. Yeah, I would say that this, you say build this week. Some people say tear down and rebuild. It was an interesting week, that's for sure.
So, well, let's get into what happened over the weekend. It looked like 16 wrestlers were released from their contract. Braun Strowman, Shayna Baszler, Dakota Kai, Kaden Carter, and Katana Chance. And then a bunch of NXT talent along top of it. Cora Jade, Gigi Dolan, Eddie Thorpe, Jakara Jackson, Riley Osborne, Mark Coffey, Joe Coffey, Wolfgang, Oro Mensa, Javier Bernal, and Danny Palmer, all released out of their contracts.
You say released, but they weren't all released. Some were not renewed.
Yes, there was several contracts that just were not renewed. I believe Shotzi was one, and a couple other ones. I would imagine Dakota Kai was probably one as well. I hate when WWE releases people because the community
You're gonna
that
catch
is
shit for
the toxic community that is the internet always points the finger at WWE. They just made $40 million at WrestleMania, but yet they have to cut all these contracts. Yeah, they do. They absolutely do. Braun Strowman's contract was over $1 million per year, and he was being used to build.
Funny, he didn't make any of that $40 million at WrestleMania. He wasn't there.
He did his job. He built Bronson Reed, and he built Jacob Fatu.
Didn't he feud with Braun Breaker too? Prior to that?
A little bit, not enough. A lot of these ones though that I see are, I don't have a problem with them getting released. Let them go learn a new hold.
What's your thing about a coat of paint or something?
Yeah, let them go learn a new paint a coat. Not my thing. That's Bruce Pritchard, and I steal it because I love Bruce.
A couple did surprise me though, because I wasn't expecting Cora Jade or Gigi Dolan or even Eddie Thorpe.
Besides Cora Jade's look, does she move the needle?
Oh no,
No,
I understand, but they've
I
been
know.
using her.
I know what you. Yeah, I understand. But now
Oh,
it's time for
Gigi
somebody. It's time for somebody else, and then they see to step up to that plate that might have a little bit more of a personality.
Gigi Dolan just challenged for the tag titles a week ago
Yeah,
Uh,
against
I
main
would
roster
imagine.
talent.
I would imagine those two might be contract related, possibly, but still, Cora Jade. Yes, she looks like $1 million, but when she gets into the ring, she doesn't do anything that makes her stand out above the rest
she has to be
when
put in
she's in
there
the
with
ring.
people.
Yeah, she doesn't move the needle while she's in the ring. It's her Instagram and her social media that moves the needle. But as far as in the ring, she's vanilla as vanilla can be. Um, I would say Gigi's kind of a lot of start and stop since Toxic Attraction. Again, looks like $1 million, but they didn't really let this new little trio of her, Tatum, and Shotzi, I guess, get going. But was it really some must see? Like seriously, if you think about it, what would you rather see on NXT from what you've been watching? Tatum, Gigi, and Shotzi, or Sol Ruka and Zarya? Judging by what they've done on NXT and on social media, I'd rather watch Zarya and Sol Ruka. Their little videos of their outings together have been fun to watch. So
Yes,
that draws you in to watch them on TV. The other three, the witchcraft three trio thing just didn't work. Eddie Thorpe, he's vanilla. I mean that I guess in a nice way, but he's vanilla. His story was stupid, and he didn't do anything to help get himself over in that process against Trick Williams. You remember the last time we see him on TV, he beats Trick Williams, or at least one of the last two times he beats Trick Williams. But it's boring. Jakara Jackson, they have a lot. You can tell they have a lot of plans for Lash Legends, and Jakara Jackson is not a part of that plan. That tells me that we're gonna get Lash Legend on the main roster soon, and I would imagine we're gonna get her aligned with Naomi.
I mean she's already been up there for the most part in a couple instances, and she's
She's
knocked it out of the park. Look at what she
she's
did in the
gonna
Rumble.
yeah, she's gonna be the one that can go 1-on-1 with Nia Jax.
I
She
was
can
just
match up.
thinking that.
Yeah, she's the one that can match size with Nia Jax. So they have a lot of thinking. I love Katina Chance, Casey Catanzaro. I love Caden Carter. I love watching them on social media. They're a lot of fun on social media, but
I think they got old.
they reached their ceiling. You can do anything else with them too, unless you're just going to job them out each week, and then everybody's going to complain about how they're one of the only real tag teams and they're getting jobbed out. At this point, I'm on the bandwagon of you might as well just get rid of the women's tag titles. I know TJ's been
That's
saying it.
sadly.
I know TJ's been saying it, but it's almost to the point where go ahead and get rid of them. There's no purpose for them.
Right now, other than to have a belt on Liv Morgan, what is the purpose of those belts?
But honestly, up until this last little spurt of tag teams and stuff, was there anything really of an upside on the men's side tag titles? No, not really. So why would you expect the women's tag titles to be something
Well,
on
and
the forefront?
I think it's hard too when NXT is still the little brother show. It's not Monday and it's not Friday night. And when you have them going down on Tuesday nights, it's supposed to draw the eyes. I'm not sure it was drawing the eyes. Those women tag titles aren't. I don't think they're featured enough because there's nobody standing out to feature them enough.
True.
What's funny
I
is
mean,
I've consistently thought NXT is probably the consistent wise the better show every week.
Well, yeah, because it's the most consistent show wrestling wise. It's a 2 hour show, and I would say it's probably on percentage more wrestling than Monday or Friday. Um, Gallus, Joe Coffey, Mark Coffey, Wolfgang, they had run their course. They had ran their course like 2 years ago. Kind of
After,
figured they were on their way out.
after they helped bring
Um,
Edge back, they basically weren't shown again.
yeah. Shayna. Shayna is probably the only one on this that I don't really like the idea of releasing her, but I also understand. Um, she got hit with she unfortunately was hit with the Vince McMahon creative and
She's probably one of the last people that really
was
fell
never
victim to
able
that.
to dig or be able to dig their way out of it. Again, and also being put in that tag team division where they wasn't allowed to stand out when everybody wanted them to stand out. Shayna and Zoe were ones that everybody wanted to be, but now it's all on Zoe. Zoe, it's time for Zoe to step up her game. I can instantly see her in that IC title picture after this whole Becky Lyra thing is over with. Um, and we'll get into that. Shotzi and Dakota are the same, one and the same. You can't keep planning and starting to build things with people when they keep getting hurt. That's a lot of money that's invested, and I know I don't need the money invested, but they're a multi-billion-dollar conglomerate. Yeah, but you can't keep building for somebody to take the lead on something and then be 3, 4, 5 weeks into their program and magically they're hurt again. That defeats the purpose of the story. Why invest the time knowing that she's gonna get hurt? And also Dakota falls in that same pool as Cora Jade and Gigi in a way. It's like when she gets into the ring, she doesn't do anything that stands out. I'm sorry, but she doesn't. She's got her, what is it, kick squad, whatever, kick pad, whatever.
Mm.
That's about it. And it's like, I just don't see it.
Ryan,
I never did.
I'm gonna send you something, and you could pronounce some of their names because outside of a couple of them, I have no clue how to say their names. But continue.
I would imagine you're sending me the AAA stuff.
Yep. Because we made a joke last week that WWE buys AAA, and then El Patron is already gone.
Yeah.
Apparently not.
Well, apparently the way that's working is because AAA signed them to deals, WWE's gonna honor their contract basically. But yeah, Alberto Del Rio, um, I believe that is the doctor of Dr. Wagner. Dr. Wagner is a very popular lucha libre wrestler. Vikino, which is the guy from AEW, had his match with Omega that stood everybody out to him. Laparca just got reincarnated and relaunched again. It's not the same guy from WCW because he would be like 70 years old at this point.
Not the chairman.
No, it's the same character. It's just a new person. That's kind of what they do in Japan or in Mexico with the masked wrestlers. They're allowed. They can.
Can't wait till you
people
get
in.
2 names down this list.
Lady Flamer. I don't know the ladies wrestlers so much. But guess
No,
what?
but is that a PC name we can say? Lady Flamer?
I don't know, but guess what? We're gonna learn these names because they're gonna be on TV
I
before
mean, the
too
other
long.
one down, I thought it for a split second. My dyslexia told me it was Nino Hamburgers.
I mean,
I'm kind of hungry.
Well, join the club.
Hamburgeries?
We're always hungry.
I mean, obviously none of us speak Spanish, but Hamburgerisa?
Is that a chunky girl?
Oh my! I hope that chunky. I don't know who they are, what they are, but I hope they find you in Connecticut. We get to watch what happens.
We need to have like remember like Home Improvement when Tim would say weird things and I would be like, for all questions, please resort to Binford Tools. That's address, or that's tool time at blah 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 address. Please send all your discretionary comments there. We just see the emails come racking in.
Yeah, don't DOS me, please.
That ball headed guy was really insulting.
That bald headed guy called me chunky. I'm like 5'3", 100 pounds.
Well,
I just
I'm gonna
my
have you
gimmick
know
is I'm the Hamburglar.
that was it. Nino Hamburgis is a male wrestler. He weighs 223 pounds.
and he's 4'11".
El Torito?
Yeah, I should have gotten that with the O and not an A.
He's 5'5", 5.5", and weighs 223 pounds.
He'd like to see you after the show, AJ.
Oink.
Oh God.
See, and like AAA has a mixed tag team championships.
Do they have a trio?
I'm in.
Late, the lady Marvila, she's a former world mixed tag team champion with Viano 3 Jr. So
5. Weren't we on like 5 and 6 or something? And
yeah, now we have
97.
Now we don't have just Viano 3. He's Viano 3 Jr.
We were like Viano 5 and Viano 6 or something.
I guess they figured after 6 we needed to go backwards. Viano 9 probably wouldn't have worked so well.
So
Viano 23.
But hey, it's gonna be fun learning these people's names and learning about their careers. And
I feel like we need the old Mike Tenay segment where we get to relearn about Lucha AAA wrestling. Circa 1997.
I would say that'd be a very good spot for a Conan to be involved in WWE television. I mean, Conan is involved with AAA, has been for a very long time. I could see that being something that they do with Conan to kind of introduce people to these wonderful Lucha Libre wrestlers.
Oh.
So shall we get into Raw from last week? April 28th. Starts out with the new faction, the new Dangerous Alliance, coming out, telling everybody they're gonna basically rule the world, and Sami Zayn shows up. Out of everybody, I thought.
One quick thing. So I translated Nino Burgerisis.
Hamburgeriso?
It means burger boy.
Okay. I wasn't far off.
I love this guy already.
Oh man!
Imagine if we get Burger Boy versus Cheeseburger.
Yeah, that tracks, because isn't Nino like son or something, or boy? Yeah, boy. El Nino.
Burger Boy.
Man. That's good. I like it.
That is hilarious. In a good way. We're not making fun of these people in any way, shape, or form.
I'm looking forward to learning who these people are.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I'm really looking forward to learning who these people
Before
are.
AJ calls him Chunky again.
Chunky Burger Boy.
Imagine if he just said that to freaking Piper Niven when we saw her at WWE World in Philly. Man, you really are chunky.
Do you imagine?
You've been laid out.
The views on the channel would have been amazing.
Yeah, because we would have YouTubed it. Him getting decked by Piper Niven.
She'd have decked him and we were like, whoa, wait a minute. Can you do that again? We need to get that on film.
We don't care if you hurt him either.
I don't like how this has been going.
Back to the guys, or the guys and girls in WWE that got released. They're gonna be fine. They're not gonna be unemployed long. They're gonna do something. A lot of these guys are in NXT wise are already have a second job as it is, whether it's real estate or something of that nature. They're gonna be fine. Braun Strowman doesn't need to wrestle anymore. I mean, we can all admit that Braun Strowman is not the same Braun Strowman he was 4 years ago. He
either needs to get healthy. like fully healthy, because something ain't right.
I don't think he can. He has the issues with his legs that's well documented. That his one leg was like lost like 15% usage in his right leg. The dude's been powerlifting since he was a teenager. But eventually, the body is gonna break down and not work anymore,
Yeah,
and that's where he's at.
he was
He
on
can look.
he was on
He,
some show saying he's got like 70% mobility in his right leg. He could only turn his head so far. Somebody asked him on how many injuries he's had, and he listed literally all of them.
yeah, I mean he's been put through the ringer, and he's not a young man anymore. He still looks like $1,000,000, no doubt about it. But physically, he doesn't need to do it anymore. But it's got to hurt. I mean,
Probably
not to
Brian.
And
mention let's not
let's
mention
be honest.
they handed off his one shining gimmick that you loved watching him do. They handed that off to Braun Breaker, which is the run around the ring.
the ring,
because
and yeah,
because Braun Strowman is so slow at it now that like everybody's like waiting and waiting and waiting and
takes a
waiting,
minute for that
and then,
locomotion to get rolling.
and then boom, there it is. And it's okay. But like Dakota Kai will end up somewhere else. She'll probably end up at AEW, unfortunately, and then AEW is so great for 2 weeks, and then I'm lost in the sauce. Jakara Jackson could easily go to TNA. I feel like Gigi Dolan's going to go to TNA. Her boyfriend or husband or future husband or whatever is in TNA. I can see Gigi just going to TNA.
And then
I could
back
also
up on NXT.
I could also see Katina Chance and Caden Carter going to NXT or TNA. Because the one thing TNA does do better than any other promotion, they have women's tag titles that they use, and they use them very well. So I can easily see them two end up on TNA. Shayna Baszler, you could see her in AEW, but again, she's gonna get lost in the sauce. I can see her becoming the standout for we just watched Carrion's documentary, The Bloodsport, with the guy that's in charge of Bloodsport is the one that trained her originally.
Oh wow! I didn't know.
So I can see her going and becoming a more cornerstone of that organization. It's gonna really piss me off until I remember the name. So
there's a couple places I could see Braun Strowman going. Arm wrestling, or even hell, I'd love to see him go do that slap stuff. Imagine getting slapped by that man.
No, that's decapitation.
Yeah, but see, you wonder there with his neck issues, should he really be going to slap fight? That was a question.
He's the one that asked it. I think.
I mean,
Bret
Hart was taking bumps when he wasn't supposed to be.
That's the one I'm thinking of. Josh Barnett and his Bloodsport. I could see Shayna being the cornerstone of that. But I could also see her showing up in any of the three major other U.S. organizations, whether it be NWA.
Why does it have to be wrestling? Why can't you go be a coach at UFC?
That's what she wants to do, though. I mean, it's.
Yeah, remember too.
I wouldn't even mind Shayna just doing up, down, down if she's allowed to do that, not being with the E.
You guys got to remember too. Shayna's not a spring chicken either.
That's why it's coach.
She's 44 years old.
Listen, our truth just called. He'd like you to know age is not a thing.
Yeah, but who do you think's put their body through more stuff, R-Truth or Shayna Baszler?
Oh, Shayna.
With MMA and wrestling.
Yeah, with Shayna for sure. You've been in combat sports.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, there's probably still a lot of tread left on those tires. And, yeah, send her somewhere and make her the dominant person, but let her go and become dominant Shayna again for a year, and then WWE resigns it.
Matt Cardona leaves, and now he's probably the biggest he's ever been. Nick Nemeth leaves, and he's one of the biggest stars he's been.
I'm going to revert back here to Matt's post to these guys, and it makes sense more than anything else, and it's what people need to understand. and he said the day people were released. Let me find it here. He's got so much stuff on his.
You have three.
Why-
You have three options. Fade off into obscurity. Um,
Yeah,
coast off of
you have
your-
three options. First one, fade into obscurity. Second, live off the coats of your WWE success. Or three, get your ass out there, bust your ass, and become a bigger name than what you were.
have
Let's
fun
not
and make a
forget
ton of money.
the guy that was just the champion for a year got released at one point. Asked for it, but got released, went somewhere, and he learned that new coat of paint. Came back, the American Nightmare, and biggest star in the company.
The part I find so damn funny with this stupid community, and sometimes this community is the dumbest community there is. You bitch because people sit in catering and don't get used. Oh, they're such a wasted talent. They're so better than that, but they're getting so wasted. And then they get released because they don't have plans for them. Oh, WWE just buys people's contracts so that they can't go somewhere else and work. Which one do you want? Like,
We want it our way when it's convenient for us, Ryan. What do you mean?
I mean, and I keep hearing this stuff about, oh, well, WWE, the only company in the world that doesn't let their wrestlers go somewhere else and wrestle is WWE.
That's changed.
How many WWE guys are on AEW right now?
No, meaning they're WWE signed talent wrestling somewhere else.
TNA, Bloodsport.
Exactly, TNA, Bloodsport, and Natty's going to be on NWA here in 2 weeks in Philadelphia against Kenzie Page. I mean, that's changed, and for people that don't realize why the WWE doesn't let their talent go other places and wrestle, is they used to let their talent go do other shows. They used to in the 90s let their wrestlers go do indie shows. You would go to a local indie show and Mick Foley would be on the card. You would go to a local indie show in the early 90s and Honky Tonk Man or Greg Valentine or one of those guys would be on the card. But this is what happens when you have $1 million business at that point and you're advertising that, hey, on our next pay-per-view, Honky Tonk Man is going to be on the card, or Valentine's going to be on the card, or Mick Foley's going to be on the card, and they go and do an indie show the week before a big card and they get hurt. That's now a lot of money that the WWE invested that they now have to change their plans because they went and did an indie show. So that's why the WWE put a stop to the guys doing indie shows. That's good business. You can't have a business if everybody keeps getting hurt, and you're not making money off of them for their shows because they're on an indie show and they get hurt.
And basically,
that's why the WWE did it.
They're only sending out the people right now that aren't being featured, but yet still can put a name back to WWE.
For the longest time, I mean, this is obviously a long time ago, but for the longest time, isn't that what Andre the Giant was? He would go to whatever, granted the territories and all that back in the day, but didn't Andre go to other shows all over the place?
He was a traveling attraction that would stay in territories for 2 or 3 months and then would be gone, or a month and be gone. That's kind of what WWE is doing now. They're just not using their megastars to do it. They're using the mid-road guys that still, like you said, when you think of Natty Neidhart or Natalia Neidhart, you think WWE. You Karrion Kross and Butch and Pete Dunne and Natty on Bloodsport. You think WWE.
They let Shinsuke go to Japan.
AJ Styles was in Japan. They're doing it. They're just, you got to remember, it's not the same regime as it was.
You still have to protect
3
your
years
assets.
ago, 4 years ago. Exactly. So it's just this whole thing. I hate it when it's release day. Like, granted, these guys lost their jobs. That sucks.
But they also
you're
should have
getting
been
an
prepared for this.
you're getting an opportunity now to go do something different. But
And you
anyhow,
can't tell me
sorry.
they don't have a contingency plan ready to go just in case.
They've got 90. They're getting paid. I mean, Gigi's contract, she said she only has 30 days. So that makes me think that her contract didn't get renewed. It seems like if their contracts don't get renewed, they only have 30 days. If they get released, they have 90 days.
It's a 90.
So,
Which even then, I mean, you've got a month, hey, I am this name. You know me from here.
Yeah.
You got something we can do together? Like,
yeah, and don't do what Cora Jade did. Don't put out your booking email and then have then it gets filled up by weird people with sends you enticing things they want you to do, and then he has to come back and say, "You perverts, this is for booking for shows, not to hit me up." Wrong choice of words for their Cora Jade.
seems like
But
she might need a manager. We know a guy. Maybe we should give her his number.
so moving on, like you said, we were on Raw. Sorry there, I didn't mean to go on a tangent.
No. Do you want to keep going with that? Because I know you have a better memory than I do.
Yeah,
Raw?
right. You're asking me if I got a better memory than you.
So Sami Zayn comes out and disrupts Seth, Braun, and Heyman. Wasn't expecting it to be
basically accused them of becoming their own version of the bloodline.
He's not.
I love how
following with the wise man.
I love how we went. I love how we went from 1 week the tease of him turning on Jay to now being white meat babyface Sammy again.
There's another person they really don't have much for.
I just
it should be noted
odd.
like 10 years ago yesterday, I believe was his Raw debut
against John Cena. Yeah.
Yeah,
and
he separates his shoulder, throwing his arm up in the air, and then he tells Brett to tell Cena that I've dislocated my shoulder. If you watch the video,
still does the match.
Oh yeah. I mean, he's not wrong. It literally is the same thing. Like they can't tell you. I can't tell you why I'm trying to take over the WWE. I just am. Kind of the same story.
Different Shield member, different enforcer, same wise man.
Yeah, I'm curious to see where the Dangerous Alliance 2.0 group goes.
I still think they need one or two more people.
They do, but they don't need to rush in bringing them to the table either.
No,
I saw an interesting one the other day. Is that there might be some bloodline members in this new group. Apparently, that Paul Heyman has his eyes on Solo.
Oh. Before or after he gets the crap beat out of him?
You assume he's going to get the crap beat out of him.
At some point, I think Jacob's going to kick the...
I mean, if they show up on SmackDown and help him against Jacob, then Jacob gets destroyed.
Oh, okay.
But this is the good thing. We're going to sit around and wait and see.
I think this is
We're going to hear them tonight.
This is a very fun thing.
Adam Pearce has already announced tonight on Raw that those three are going to be in the ring, and they have an announcement for the universe.
Oh boy!
So
as long as we just sit back and enjoy this ride, it's going to be enjoyable. Like, just that's the thing. Like, everybody, don't overanalyze it. It's just getting going.
But if we don't overanalyze it, then what's the purpose of being in the IWC?
Maybe some of these IWC people need to go 0 Dark 30 for a month.
It goes with what was the quote of the day last night when we were talking? We were watching or I was watching clips from just a random sports podcast. Like, it was literally the same thing this is. It was like three guys, just buddies, just talking about football, and it was the top 4 college quarterbacks of all time, and like
it was Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, they were all debating whether Tim Tebow should be on the Mount Rushmore, and like the one guy's take on it was like completely wrong, and completely over in center field of the baseball field on the other side of the university. And somebody in the comments put, man, what was it? They should make a oh damn it, I forgot already.
I must have been
You
asleep.
think it was after you went to bed?
Yeah,
So, I know it was.
something about they should make podcasting equipment more expensive.
Yeah.
Oh, I've
Or-
heard that plenty of times. I've actually been told that.
or and then the one guy commented and I was like, this is that affects us. It was like,
Maybe you should have a requirement of being able to
Yeah,
do
the
100
requirement
push-ups
is
to
you must do a-
podcast.
yeah, because they were bigger guys, but it was like 100 push-ups to get podcast equipment. I'm like, we're screwed.
I told you, Ryan. They
Does it have
didn't
to
say
be
how long.
consecutive? Does it have to be
Mm.
consecutive?
That's what TJ
did-
said. TJ's
They
like,
didn't
give
say
you a
how
time
long to
limit.
do 100. I could bang out 20, take a 20 breather, do another 20.
Like 20 seconds, 20 minutes, 20 years.
Yes.
20 just gets timed by 20 each time. It goes from 20 seconds to 40 seconds.
All right.
20
So
minutes.
first match of last Monday's Raw: Rhea Ripley defeating Roxanne Perez by DQ.
Yeah, I don't know what they're setting up here, but I like it.
The women's
Rhea-
tag division sucks. The women's division.
Rhea and Io are even now, but they still have Julia showing up every week on Raw with Roxanne now. It's like, are neither one of these on NXT anymore? Are they still? I'm confused. I mean, I know Roxanne just lost to Stephanie Valkyrie on NXT. Like, I'm
What's up, Hayden?
curious. I'm waiting on that to become a tag match. I just am. Yeah, like Roxanne and Rhea were really good matches against each other.
How long before we get old Broken Fingers back?
Well, she'll be on SmackDown, not Raw,
Well, she was going after the Raw title.
because she won Elimination Chamber.
And the other, yeah,
So she'll go back.
Well,
to
assuming if
SmackDown.
she'd have won the belt, she would have stayed on Raw.
yes.
That is assuming, but she didn't, so she goes back to SmackDown. Technically, if you want to get, this is why the fun part that Cody's off TV is Cody should be back on Raw, because Cody was a Raw guy when he won the Rumble and then challenged for the SmackDown title. But he'll stay on SmackDown until at least the draft, and then they'll move him back over to Raw.
Oh, you think they're getting him get him away from Cena?
They gotta move one. They gotta either move Roman or Cody to Raw. I feel like Netflix wants that.
I feel like Roman sort of is already Raw.
Wow, both of you just at the same time and attacked me.
Well, I mean, it's just Heyman's there. The guys that betrayed him's there. Punk's there.
I mean, you say you'd attack me. I was watching a Family Guy episode, and it was the episode where Peter and the gang gets a podcast, ironically. And one of the questions is, all right, how many fourth graders do you think you could take out?
Oh God, here we go. AJ versus 100 fourth graders instead of a gorilla.
By the way, yeah, anybody that's on social media, you just keep the memes coming of the 100 people, 100 men versus the gorilla coming. I love the Royal Rumble countdown.
Number
and then it's
100,
like,
Brock Lesnar.
Then it's like Roman's music hits or Brock's music hits. I'm like, or the one I like is it's like 99
90,
99
98,
down,
and
and that
100 are in the
last one
ring.
hits,
And Seth
and it's
Rollins.
No, it's the
Trays
glass
him? Oh.
shatter, and it's stone cold, and it's like
The gorilla's like,
I saw one where it's 90, 199 and 98 are in the ring, and 98 Seth Rollins with the chair. He's turned to the gorilla side.
we need to have it. We need to have one where it says
I still like my idea. AJ versus 100 fourth graders.
where the rumble cue hits, and it's like Austin or Brock, and it goes to the little ape from Planet of the Apes.
Oh no! Oh no!
Hayden in the Facebook chat goes, I always took Roman as a SmackDown guy. He is a SmackDown guy right now.
But he's shown up more on Raw than SmackDown.
Yeah. But
I mean, since WrestleMania, how many times has he been on SmackDown? A 0? How many times has he been on Raw? A 1.
I think Roman has the ability to go wherever he wants. He's Roman freaking Reigns.
Is he undraftable?
Is he untouchable?
He's just your tribal chief. He does what he wants.
All
Goes
right,
where he wants.
Second match of the night, the War Raiders defeating the Judgment Days, Finn Balor and JD McDonough.
Was that ever like a serious thought that they would lose to them?
I just feel like we're repeating stuff in a way with the War Raiders.
Anybody else feel like whatever they're gonna do with the Judgment Day, it needs to happen?
Yes.
Like soon.
They need
Like
to.
if we're gonna split
soon.
or something.
You can't do it now. Liv's filming a big movie.
Well, I mean, maybe a little bit of time away would be good, but like,
do we know how big of a movie?
It's not a big movie.
It's a WWE Films movie. It's
Liv Morgan. It can't be that
Marine
big of a
7.
movie. Oh God.
Oof.
It's just something. Don't get me wrong. I like the Judgment Day. I've liked it since day one. I liked it post Rhea and Damian. But it's like if they can't keep teasing something and not get anything.
Yeah.
I mean, they teased for weeks a new member, and nothing came of it.
Maybe they weren't actually gonna get a new member.
The upcoming project is called Bad Lieutenant Tokyo.
So the Marine 7 got it.
It sounds very anime, or it's a Japanese style movie. It's
What are you
weird.
doing?
Huh? What?
What are you doing?
Oh my.
It's Godzilla!
Igor Gira!
Technically, it's not Godzilla due to copyright issues. Still, we should run like it is Godzilla. Guys, we're off the tracks here. We kind of forgot about Raw and SmackDown. To
we
be
got
honest with
Raw
you.
in about 45 minutes, so we got to get going.
Not that we forgot about him. It just wasn't necessarily the most memorable week in the post WrestleMania era. You want some bullet points? We got Pat McAfee and Gunther coming.
Holy crap, we do. He went in hard.
That promo from Pat was probably one of the best promos ever. I mean,
like in general, like encompassing everything.
It was as real as it gets, and it was good.
I wish he swore his mouth off.
You get Becky claiming that the man is whatever. I just kind of start tuning her out when she starts talking really loud because it's confusing.
Right, you really liked my point a couple weeks ago, didn't you? About what I said about Becky.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason she's the man is because Nia Jax broke her nose.
True.
The separate is I don't think you're wrong with that. Hey, how about probably the best match of the night? Stephanie Valkyrie versus Ivy Nile.
I could watch Stephanie Valkyrie. Honestly, I don't know why she's still NXT. She should be main roster. I could watch.
Whoa, keep it PG there, Blobber T.
Hold on,
Just
TJ,
saying.
Are you ready?
They're right down there, Bob. They're right down there.
You the Kleenexes. Yeah.
Where's the pump?
But it's not. I mean, okay, they play into it too. I mean, the whole thing with the thighs and the smashing and the curling. What?
Thing
tell me they're not playing it.
And the thing and the thing and the banging and banging and banging and thing.
It's like,
for a lack of better words, Stephanie's got a rocket strapped to her ass and she's off to the races.
I'll just say this out loud. I never noticed the rocket, but I have noticed the ass.
But you understand my reference.
Huge slime ball men disgrading the women. No, she's one hell of a wrestler, but she got one hell of a body too. So, body like a rock. body like a back road.
Jesus.
Uh, I don't have anything. I'm totally lost on Raw, to be honest with you. I just woke up. Quit blaming me.
Okay, after the amazing match
End of the
Stephanie
night.
had.
Remember they had the whole thing. Sammy, I tell you, like I recommend you
Oh yeah,
leave. We can get you a way out
Sammy gets destroyed, which everybody could see coming.
because he doesn't want to leave. He doesn't want to be pushed around and bullied. He's been bullied before and blah blah blah. Why
You can
doesn't
go to SmackDown and have an immediate title match? I'm sorry.
I love how he says, "I'm gonna be the world champion." I hope I'm not around to see it.
I'm sorry, but if I'm offered a an undisputed championship match, I'm going.
Well, you know, not gonna lie, you go to it would have been kind of full circle if he took the deal, seeing as his 10-year anniversary of debuting in the ring against John Cena just happened.
But he would get the winner of John Cena and Randy Orton.
And his first match was for the US title in Montreal. Again, you want to ruin wrestling? You want to go full circle? Him versus John Cena. Come on. Nostalgia.
I'm just wondering how long this rates Sammy off TV again.
Yeah, because he's always written off TV. And then he comes back for a couple weeks, and then he's back off TV.
I don't know. When's the next Montreal visit?
I don't know, but we'll move to SmackDown now because I have it up. Orton promo to start the show was fantastic. Claims that he's gonna punt Cena's head clear off.
Crazy that backlashes are literally like a Saturday.
The LA Knight Damian Priest match was really good until Jacob showed up and cleared and wiped them all out. Now we get a fatal 4-way for the US title between Jacob, Drew, LA Knight, and Damian Priest.
Who would have saw that coming?
So here we go. Aleister Black makes his in-ring debut against The Miz, and The Miz proves again why he is the greatest heel WWE wrestler of all time, because he makes Aleister Black look like $1 million. And gets Aleister over in his debut.
Should be noted that him was at ringside, you know.
Selena Vega beat Piper Nevin.
That was fun. I like that. It was entertaining to watch.
I liked her little couple-minute video of her in New York with the U.S. title belt.
Everybody knew that was coming.
Yeah. No, but I mean, it was fun with Chelsea too. You know, all in black, mourning, that whole.
Yeah. So they're not done with that story yet, which we'll see more of that on Friday. Naomi and Jade and Nia all wanting their shot at Tiffy.
And we get a tag match. Shocking.
Yeah, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I like the Naomi promos, but I'm intrigued when she starts talking now. Like, I'm listening.
That's completely backwards to what you've been saying.
I know, but it's like the aggressive Naomi is kind of getting over in a way. I mean, her throwing punches and stuff still sucks. She's still one of the worst at that. But like you can tell she's getting a little bit of momentum. Her comments to Nia was basically like, "Stay out of my way, you big bitch."
So isn't this how Naomi originally back then? Wasn't she one of when they did the whole women's revolution back then? There was like 3 of them. It was like her and Sasha Banks.
It was her, Sasha Banks, and Tamina or something. They were Team Bad.
They were kind of like a bruiser team.
Yeah, but that wasn't her original gimmick. Her original gimmick was the funk.
Well, yeah, I remember that. I meant like as far as being a legitimate wrestler.
Yeah. So I'm interested and intrigued in that one.
Call her Bad B Naomi. Or, I don't want to swear.
Hey, a bitch. I'm getting the one thing that it's kind of like is a little cringe is the whole caution thing. Like,
You
Yeah,
don't
that
like the
was
caution
definitely
tape
cringe.
get ups?
if you couldn't take it by her dress, she's telling you to proceed with caution.
Getting a little Derek Zoolander derelict
I,
there.
I feel like Jimmy should definitely proceed with caution.
Well, I mean, he has to anytime he goes to Canada.
Are they even allowed up there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought they weren't.
they weren't for a while.
Speaking of Jimmy, if you guys haven't had a chance yet, Stephanie's Places from last week on Wednesday, a great episode with the whole bloodline on a yacht, eating turkey butts.
Wasn't Sammy too, right? Like whole bloodline.
I said the whole bloodline. What part of whole bloodline?
Well,
didn't
I mean,
you
like
get?
the real bloodline or like the show bloodline.
No, the whole bloodline. Tamatanga, Tamaloa, Solo, Jacob. And you get Jacob in interviews anymore, and people will fall in love with Jacob Fatu more than they have already.
Oh,
Like
that was awesome.
he gave the grace before the meal, and it was like, I love this guy. And he was talking about how his kids, his girls, are so intrigued by the ladies that are wrestling now that they want to wrestle. And then Jay was talking about how his son wants to wrestle, and it was a very, very cool interview segment. This coming week we get Pat McAfee.
Sounds like the future of the bloodline is very secure in WWE.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of them, and they just keep procreating. So, I mean, there's a lot more of a lot more. They're like rabbits, really. Once one starts, it turns into 5, turns into 12, turns
Listen,
into 55,000 that we don't know about.
Yeah, it's
the
like
WWE
Catholic
has always been great when there's a pair of twin bloodline members. Right? Am I wrong?
Isn't it just Jimmy and Jay?
Jimmy and Jay are the only twins.
Well, okay, what Sika and Alpha were like.
Not
Okay,
twins.
you just mean Samoan brothers.
I'm saying they were.
Don't go with twins. Just say brothers.
Well, they're all brother. Oh, Oos.
Also, I'm gonna take a wild guess and say TJ hasn't watched it after I told him to watch it last night.
I did not get to watch it yet.
Me and AJ watched it. Karrion Kross's documentary that's on YouTube that's about his weekend
Holy
at
crap.
WrestleMania weekend. Absolutely amazing. I already liked this guy a lot way before I you guys can vouch for me. I talked about Karrion Kross when he got released the first time.
I want
Like,
more
I
of
wanted this guy. I want more Karrion Kross. I don't care
I
I don't even care if he's losing on TV. Just the storytelling that he's trying to put down is amazing.
I love his interview with Sam Roberts.
Oh yeah, I didn't know the ending part. I didn't, because you see the highlights. They never show that ending part, and he's pissed. They're giving away my contract information. I have their privacy, blah blah blah, and like Scarlett's like legitimately like, don't do it here.
But you still think they gave him the okay to go off?
Oh, 100%. They're not going to air. They are not going to air that stuff if they didn't approve it.
I mean,
gotta remember it's pre-taped.
Look at the. Okay, it's pre-taped. I was gonna say,
agent,
look at the pipe bomb a couple years ago.
The agent sitting in a lot. What pipe bomb? That was all. You talking about Punk's pipe bomb?
That was scripted too.
Like a decade or more ago.
It's not scripted, but it's handing him the mic and say, "Go get over." They know that WWE. You got to remember, WWE. The guys in the upper management office of WWE could care less if you're gonna hurt their feelings just to get up for a promo. They don't.
And if they really want to shut that mic off, it takes that much. That mic's off.
They're handing an open microphone to CM Punk and say, "Go over." They're looking at Karrion Kross and they're like, "Go. Tell us how you really feel." You could see Hunter saying, they could see
Brian was just reading the chat. I saw that.
Triple H, had that conversation with Karrion of go vent, just vent, and Karrion vented, and I always have liked Karrion. I like it more, and I want to see more tonight on Raw. Even if it's just a backstage segment with AJ again, I don't care. I want to see this build and build and build, and Karrion Kross get mega over.
And I don't want a mid card title. This man deserves more.
I don't even care. I love his statement in the documentary, which you haven't watched, so you'll get to it. He is not one of those wrestlers that use the saying, the grass is always greener on the other side. His exact words in the documentary, and pardon my language, but his words are, fuck that, go water your grass. Make yourself better here, not over there. Make it just go back over to fresh grass. He is willing to put in the time and the effort to get this over, and I love it.
And the thing is, with everything that he's doing, even if he's not wrestling a lot, and I understand there are people out there that want him to be out there fighting and showcasing himself. Right now, his character, he doesn't need to. He's literally the devil on somebody's shoulder. Right?
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Let's not forget, he's the one that started the destruction of the bloodline without even being in a story with the bloodline. He shows up, walks out to the ring with Scarlett, and she flips the hourglass over, and literally from that point forward was the destruction of the bloodline.
Yeah, somewhere in there, Cody tells him eventually it's just going to be Roman, a chief without a tribe with no wise men.
It's now just Roman. We've gotten to the point where they're using Karrion to create stories without him actually wrestling. It's working. He's going to be working with AJ Styles through the summer. I can't imagine AJ's not going to get Karrion over more than what he already is.
Oh, absolutely. Look at everybody AJ's worked with lately anyway. Look at how well... Okay, I know I'm going to catch shit for this. I understand. Logan is fantastic. For as little as he's done, he's very good. AJ made him look better.
I mean, that's what AJ Styles has done for 2 decades.
AJ Styles, I feel like, is in that portion of his career, kind of like John Cena was the last 6 or 7 years ago, where he's making everybody look better while still losing.
Going to the YouTube chat there, Pink says that goated promos supersede matches in this area feels. Not just this era. It's always been the promo gets people in the building. It was always promos on TV got people on the end of the houses for that deal. Then it flipped and it became the promos on TV get people to pay-per-views. Or it was always, I'm sorry, it was promos on TV sell house shows from the 70s and 80s. And then when we get into the Monday Night Wars, it was TV promos sold pay-per-views. So it's always been the promo that gets people in the door. It's the promo that gets people intrigued. Karrion's promos has piqued everybody's interest now that it's like when Karrion's on the screen, everybody shut up. I want to hear what he has to say because it's going to be gold. And it's building to something. You just have to put the pieces together. If you put the Easter egg pieces together on everything that he's been promoting and everything, when it all comes to tuition, you're all going to be like, oh, yeah, I didn't see that coming, or I didn't see this coming. It's going to be fun.
Stone Cold Steve Austin was winning matches and no one cared until Austin 316 says, I just whipped your ass.
Promos is what gets people in the buildings or gets them to buy pay-per-views.
He's growing and growing and growing, and when Karrion finally goes off, it doesn't matter if it's a title. He's already a force to be reckoned with.
He is one of those guys that doesn't need a title to get him over.
Yes, correct.
He is a Roddy Piper, 100%. To a point. He still needs that little bit of fine tuning with his stuff, but he could be Roddy Piper. Roddy Piper got over without being a champion. Remember,
Never.
Piper only held 2 championships his entire run in the WWE. The IC title in the 90s, and then the tag titles with Flair in the mid 2000s.
They never won one of the big belts in WWE.
No. So I love it. I can't wait to see more Carrion tonight.
I love how much of the YouTube chat's into this conversation.
Yeah.
I know you've been
But
keeping an eye on it.
I'm gonna say that just said stay tuned, watch, take in what he says, watch it a couple of different times, and try to pick out Easter eggs. So it's interesting. I don't have much more. It was besides the news of all the releases, it was kind of a mid-week of wrestling.
We got a pay-per-view coming
There was more
real soon.
There was more promo storyline stuff than there were matches. I mean, Raw only had 4 matches, and I think SmackDown maybe had 5. But the matches were still really good. But
Backlash should be fun.
I'm looking forward to Gunther and Pat. I really am, because we know Pat is decent enough in the ring.
Yeah,
Do we have a kind of early preliminary Backlash card we just take a quick look at?
The Fatal 4-Way for the U.S. title, the Fatal 4-Way for the women's title, and Gunther and Pat and Cody and Randy
Cena and Orton.
That's it.
So far, I think we get one more.
And Jay and Logan. That's going to be your card. I don't see him adding anymore. It's 5 matches. I think that'll be your card.
Your
Jay
and Logan match.
Your boy Dev. Stone Cold, yeah, his promos in ECW moved the needle, but they didn't move the needle till they were shown in WWE because not everybody watched ECW. When you let Austin have I think the point of that was you give Austin the microphone and he could talk. The sense of the ringmaster and everything was that Vince didn't know he could talk. So once you took the ringmaster gimmick away from him and you let him on the microphone, everybody else was able to know that he could talk. So I think Pat and Gunther set up Gunther and Goldberg for SummerSlam. I think that's what they're headed to.
Really?
It's either SummerSlam or Money in the Bank.
You say really like it's a bad thing.
I don't think I want Goldberg.
You're going to get Goldberg. He wants a retirement match and WWE is going to give him one. I don't understand. People need to get over this whole thing about Goldberg. Goldberg is a legitimate legend in our sport only because of his run. If he wants his retirement walk-off match against Gunther to put Gunther over, more power to him. I don't think this generation does not understand the aura that was Bill Goldberg in 1998.
I don't. It's the Gunther thing that bothers me. It's not the Goldberg thing.
I mean, who else in the ring could match size?
Yeah,
and
I don't like Gunther, but I'm all for Gunther versus Goldberg because I know Gunther will get over. You're not wasting. Guys, stop. You're not wasting Gunther on Goldberg. What does Gunther have going for him right now? Nothing.
Outside of Pat
he has nothing. He literally had to start a feud with the ring announcer to get a match for Backlash. He has nothing at the moment.
Find it odd that he's not getting a rematch.
I don't know.
I don't think
he probably will
automatic
eventually.
Rematches.
But give him Goldberg. Let him get a big win over a guy that he is smaller than. Well, how many times has how many times has Gunther win against somebody that's bigger than him? Not many. Goldberg is that guy that's bigger than him. So then Gunther's not the bully in the match. Goldberg is.
So do you
Even
think,
even as a face, Goldberg is the bully against Gunther because he outsizes him.
so what do you think? Pat's gonna get absolutely demolished, but Goldberg is going to be there, jump the barricade, and
I don't think Pat gets demolished, but I think by the end of it, he's getting,
Yeah. I would say that
murdered.
Pat maybe says, "Hey, I brought backup," and it's Goldberg. It's easy. It's it doesn't hurt Gunther to face Goldberg at all, none whatsoever. If anything, you might get a little bit more character out of Gunther. It's the first time he's going against somebody that's bigger than him.
A big old chop ain't gonna put Goldberg away.
Exactly. I'm all for it.
do you think
I
it
know
helps
what
Gunther?
he's beating.
It can't hurt
Goldberg.
him. It can't hurt him.
He's
Who has pinned Bill Goldberg in the last 10 years?
Okay, but here's
Roman
the thing.
Reigns and Brock Lesnar?
You guys are saying that it's a sure thing that Gunther wins.
Goldberg knows the business. Goldberg knows that if this is his retirement match, he doesn't win.
Unless it's a
Goldberg is
retirement
very-
3-game
No,
match
Goldberg
plan.
is very, very old school in that sense of Goldberg knows the way to get out of the business, to leave the business better than what it was when you entered. He knows to get Gunther over by letting Gunther beat him will be more money than him beating Gunther. Because now Gunther beats Goldberg, and then his claim is, I retired Goldberg. I did what nobody else could do. I retired Goldberg. I made him go away. You're never see him wrestle in the ring again.
It's funny. I remember a number of years ago, a Randy Orton retiring Legends.
It adds
Built a career on it.
It adds an aura
I don't
to
think
Gunther.
he retired them.
Well, I mean, he was the Legends killer. It was the whole thing. Was he took down legend after legend after legend after legend.
But he
But
didn't
anyhow,
retire him.
It adds to the aura of Gunther being the guy that takes out and finishes Goldberg. He takes the old take. I can see Gunther cutting a promo where he talks about taking. He finally took old Goldberg out back around the woodshed and put him out of his misery. Instantly, right back into the title picture against Jay for the world title. If you want to put it there, works for me 100%.
Jay's losing the title at Backlash.
Logan.
You're gonna make the Yeet Man the man for a month?
Can you imagine what that would do? Sooner or later, I'm sorry. Sooner or later, Logan will be a world champion.
Yeah. I don't know if it's here. Not in the first match.
I think you get Logan as a world champion after he wins a Money in the Bank briefcase. I think you make him this generation Edge with the ultimate opportunist, where he wins the briefcase and then just cashes in just completely out of the blue, random.
It would make for a viral moment.
Nobody expects him to be there, and he cashes in and wins the world title and runs back. Literally doesn't even celebrate, just grabs the belt and runs to the back. Works for me.
Heist of the Century style.
Yeah, that was a big celebration at WrestleMania 31.
Yeah.
I mean, he got out of the ring, though. You weren't going to stay in the ring with Brock Lesnar.
I'm all for Goldberg versus Gunther. I don't care. I'm all for Pat versus Gunther to build to that. I'm all for eventually Logan Paul being a world champion for that 1, 2, 3 weeks time from when he wins it to the next pay-per-view. I'd be fine with that.
He keeps showing up every week. I'll give him that. He hasn't gone away.
I'm just curious.
He said he was in it for the long haul, and he's been here every week.
How long Pat's going to be off TV?
College football season starts when?
August?
Well, I mean, does his show take a break in the summer for like a vacation or anything, or does he run all year long?
I thought he runs all year long. I could be wrong with that too.
I mean, it could be one of those things too, though, where his panel just takes over the show and Pat's not there.
I would say probably a nice Pat's due for a vacation. The man deserves one.
Yeah, he came right back from college football, right back on TV, like no break.
Shall we
But-
close up shop and get ready for Monday Night Raw tonight?
I think the only correct word is what's written on TJ's glasses.
Ow. Ordering things.
In case you can't read it, it says yeet, and we're waiting on the yeet for the moment of the day.
Hit that like button, subscribe,
What?
follow, and we will see you next Monday.
AJ, what are we talking? What's? Oh, whoa, whoa, what the?
You got those two?
Yeet. Yeet. Dog, we yeeting up in this place. We
What?
yeeting.
What are we talking
Am I-
about, Ryan?
Am I the only one that finds it funny that his hands are on backwards?
Yes.
What do you mean?
You had them backwards.
I
Now
didn't
they're on
switch
right.
them.
You had them on. What are we doing? What are you doing Thursday for the regular nerds?
I mean, for the third week in a row, we are going to attempt to hit the final Transformers movie. We've had life kind of happen with a lot of us. So, unfortunately, we've had to push that the last couple weeks. But it's Rise of the Beasts, hopefully on Thursday. And then after that, it's The Greatest Showman.
Did you do Transformers 1?
Yes. We
Yeah.
went in timeline order for the most part.
And if you're a big fan of Last of Us, you should join us on Sundays right after the episode airs. Me, AJ, and
Transformers
Susie
1.
talk about the show on an episode of Spoiler Warning. It's a great concept, great show. It's a lot of fun. I don't know anything about the video games because I haven't played them.
Wait, you went
AJ
timeline order, but you're doing Rise of the Beast last?
All right, yeah,
Dude,
I don't know.
We're on third base. You're still on first base. But yeah, I don't know anything about the video games for Last of Us because I've never played them. I'm getting them to play them. AJ's played them about 45,000 times.
I just beat the second one.
He
again
won't
today.
play them. He won't play them late at night.
Susie's kind of watched along on some stuff, so she knows some stuff. So it's kind of fun to get all three of our perspectives of.
She watched
the
up
game-
to a hole in one.
I thought it was a Joel in one.
It is a Joel in one. I screwed that up.
Yeah, you screwed that up. But it's fun concept because you get all three of our perspectives of how much different the show is to the game. And
don't watch it. Don't watch it with me because ask Ryan. I blow the moment.
and then it's fun for me because like I can see moments in the show that I'm like that's gonna be a pain in the ass in the video game.
And then what
But
do I
it's
say?
yes, it is. So that's been a lot of fun. Hopefully we continue with other shows that
Kinda
are
like-
coming up on the horizon.
It's kind of like when we rewatched Game of Thrones with AJ and he'd never seen it. And we're all like, "Get ready, something crazy's gonna happen."
I thought the Red Wedding was supposed to be worse than that. They
We have-
fucked it up.
we have I know we discussed on the show last night that AJ needs to catch up on Stranger Things.
Never seen an
So
episode.
it's gonna be a lot of
You've
fun.
never seen Stranger Things, my guy.
I watch.
You even got Hulk
sports.
Hogan shirts on that show.
I watch sports.
So I'm the guru. The guy in charge is AJ. The Yeetus McNeetus over there is TJ.
That sounds like he
And,
needs tissues.
Please do not do that with those hands on.
You've seen.
Just-
You've
I mean
seen
that's
the
like
new
sand. It's
Deadpool?
got to be like sandpaper.
You
Some
get
people
the
might
two-
be into that, my
you
guy.
get the two Hulk cans, and you're just.
No.
All right,
But-
bye everybody. Take care.
We're out. See you next Monday.
He's not saying it though.
Yeet. You want me? Yeet. 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 Yeet.